Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. Uneducated Network on YouTube presents Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Clayton, and today we're going to break down the wild card weekend of the NFL. Have some good games, the 4 games that came on for the past weekend. Sorry it's so late on it, but I'm on it now because games do start tomorrow, and I want to break it down, and we'll also give our picks for the games as well for Saturday and Sunday. So that being said, before I get started, I want to give a big shout out to my guys from Phillips 66. Yes, I'm at the plants now making some decent money, and I got some good friends over there, man. Shout out to Mr. Javier, you know what I'm saying? He running things. Shout out to Ruben. We got Caesar. We got Marco. We got Jose. Shout out to my boy Cody as well. Look, they are all some good people, and the plants, some good guys making some decent money, man. So shout out to all them boys out there, man. You know, Marco representing Baytown. I got a season, Jose representing H-Town. So you know how it goes down, man. And of course, I'm over there, so everything is all good and gravy. But guys and ladies and gentlemen who work at the plants, and no, they provide for the family, but they do hard labor, and you gotta respect that. People who love to work for a living, I respect that. So hey, shout out to you guys, man. Keep doing your things, man. I'll see you guys on Monday. With that being said, y'all want to talk some football? Let's do that. Please like and subscribe to Uneducated Network, where you see my show, Uneducated Sports Talk, and many other shows on the docket, on the channel. We are more than just a YouTube channel. We are a way of life. Now, all this out the way, let's get into it. First game we had Tennessee at the Kansas City Chiefs, the Tennessee Titans, and the Chiefs were a heavy favorite, in my opinion, and you thought they could at least get through this game, right? Before that, to face either the Patriots or the Steelers. Not happening one bit. The Tennessee Titans come in and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs 22-21 in basically Andy Reid kind of fashion. Andy Reid, over his tenure as being the head coach, whether it's the Eagles or the Chiefs, has always had a decent team, but they never seem to find that itch, except for that 0-4 visit to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, which they lost that. But besides that, they find ways to lose games. Kansas City at one point was up 21-3 at halftime. 21-3, they had just scored with about 4 seconds left to go in the second quarter, and you thought game was over with. Tennessee limped into playoffs, Major Payne style, crawling in there. They limped into the playoffs, and you thought that, oh, this is going to be, I thought that, the way the Chiefs were looking, but then something happened when Travis Kelce caught the concussion somewhere in the second quarter, and he was out. You kind of had a feeling they did not know what to do after that, and I was shocked that they didn't have another game plan. Yes, I mean, you have Tyreek Hill and you have Kareem Hunt, who could arguably be the Rookie of the Year. So you got to go ahead and roll with those guys, and they played very conservative toward the end, and Alex Smith showed why he's Alex Smith. He has great games, then he has mediocre games. This is one of his mediocre games. It started off great in the first half, and then he was very mediocre in the second half, and sometimes it happens like that to Alex Smith. At his best, he looks like a top 5 quarterback, and at his worst, he looks very average at times. And if you want to sum up Alex Smith's career, it's slightly above average. That's being harsh, because he's still a good quarterback. He's a top 15 quarterback. Slightly above average. I'll put him probably 12, 13, something like that. And you wonder why the Chiefs went out and got Pat Mahomes. This is for that reason right there. Alex Smith, in the crucial moments of games, it just doesn't happen. Now, you could also say they don't have any weapons. Tyreek Hill was a gadget player who was just learning how to play wide receiver, who's doing a damn good job at doing it. And then you have Travis Kelce, who's a tight end who plays like wide receiver, but that's pretty much it. After that, their receiving core is Pooh Cheese. We don't call it Pooh Cheese out there. That's for you, Jose. But that being said, Tennessee comes roaring back. Yes, we saw a pass to himself. Marcus Mariota threw a pass, only the second time in NFL history, the first time in the playoffs. He threw a pass himself, his first ever playoff touchdown pass. He also caught it, right? He throws the ball, it gets hit by Revis. It goes right into Mariota's arms. Touchdown, he runs in 3 yards, touchdown. I've never seen anything like that in person. I saw that Brad Johnson did it for the Vikings in 1997, but I've never seen it in person. That was a crazy play because I believe that was third down. I believe he could have stopped him to a field goal. But Tennessee kept grinding, and now they have a recipe. It's called shut DeMarco Murray down and let's run big boy. Look, their running back has been running like a madman, Derrick Henry. Every time he gets his time to shine, he takes full advantage of it. 22 carries, $160, I believe. $1.20, excuse me, something like that. But he is a monster. He for some reason finds that one play where he goes like 50 yards for either for a touchdown or for a big gain. And he did that to basically win the game for the Tennessee Titans. They ran the ball with him and kept running with him. Marcus Mariota, they have decent defense. They have a great running game. We figured with them winning against the Chiefs, they have to run the ball very well, and they did. And when you give it to one person only, which was Derrick Henry, he made a good advantage of it. Now, the Chiefs are out, and there's going to be questions over the offseason. What is Andy Reid's status? What is Alex Smith's status? Because he has 1 year left on his contract. And where the Chiefs go, it was a bad way to end the season for the Kansas City Chiefs. A horrible way to end the season, in my opinion, because you were looked at as a team that can be sort of reckoned with. This is the same team. Everyone's hoping and praying maybe the Chiefs can get in there and play the Patriots. It's not about to happen. We'll say we play the Patriots in just a few minutes. The next game on that Saturday, the Atlanta Falcons visited the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, I'm finally saying Los Angeles and not St. Louis. My problem is San Diego still. I still say San Diego a lot. But the Falcons go into Los Angeles with a victory over the Panthers to get into the playoffs. And they also had coming into this Rams game, this Rams team was hot. And they've been hot all season. Ty Gurley could be the MVP. And then Atlanta, same thing, came in kind of limping. I mean, I won't call it 10-6 limping, but they had a stretch of this year where they did not look good. And I'm going to be honest, it still feels that way. But here we go. The Atlanta Falcons defeat the Los Angeles Rams by a score of 26-13. And the game was clearly in Falcons play, Falcons style the whole entire game. Time possession was crucial. They had the ball for a long time, almost double what the Rams had. The rushing game with Tevin Coleman was going good, as well as Devontae Freeman. They did their thing. I can't blame them for using them. Go ahead and use them, because you know that Matt Ryan has been sort of struggling. But he finally found Julio Jones, and especially in the red zone where it really matters. 9 catches, 94 yards for Julio Jones. Look, the Atlanta Falcons did what they have to do. And the Rams looked very young and immature and not ready for the prime time game. It was fitting because they had fumbles on punt returns twice. Gave the ball, and then they had a lot of 3 and outs, and Jared Goff looked very confused, and the wide receiver core that was dominant wasn't as dominant, and it wasn't like Atlanta's defense was doing anything crazy to stop them or putting really good pressure on Los Angeles. It wasn't happening like that. What was going on was, I think LA was just not ready for this prime time game. They weren't ready. The Coliseum was pretty much dead. It was rocking when it first started, but it was dead throughout the whole entire game. Atlanta came in and did not look great, but did just enough to beat the Rams team that has been very porous in this game. They were very poor. They were not ready for this prime time. Atlanta is the NFC representative of the Super Bowl last year. So you know that they have experience, and they were counting on that, and that's what happened. That's what they got. So Atlanta came in and did what they had to do, and I cannot blame them one bit. Take it how you win, because in the playoffs, I don't care what happens or how you get it done. A win is a win regardless. LA is going to have a few questions, but this team is on the uprising. I cannot wait to see these guys for the next 5 years, see if they take off, because this is a team that's on the rise. And Sean McVay, hats off to him. What a hell of a coaching job he did. I mean, he's 31 years old. Do you believe I'm like almost there with him? He's just a few years older than me. That's crazy. There's plenty of players on this team that's older than him. But now you think that the coaching standard might be a little different. Let's start getting edgier. Let's get young guys with this. They're greedy. They're hungry. They want to show what they got. Sean McVay, the Rams took a gamble, and thank God, because Jeff Fisher is horrible. He's horrible. I don't want to talk about him no more. Let's stop. But Sean McVay is a great mind. He's young and he's exciting and he's hungry. And the Rams saw that and took a gamble. They took a chance on a 31-year-old, and it paid off big time. So this team next year is going to be very, very scary to look at. They're going to dominate for the next 5-6 years. I'm going to say dominate, but it'll be very good. And at least in LA, you got an entertaining team. LA needs that, because I think in 2020 they opened up their big old stadium where them and the Chargers are going to share. And that stadium is pretty. That stadium is pretty. So I can't wait to see the Rams and their flashiness in the next 3 to 5 years. We'll see about that. But Falcons move on. That means they automatically will take on the Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional round, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Let's go to the Sunday games now. Jaguars at the Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Excuse me. Jaguars are 3 seed. The Bills are a 6 seed. And this game, you knew going into it, it wasn't going to be that much offense, but you figured you'd get a good bit of something, right? Both teams struggled off the bat to do anything with the ball. Blake Bortles, in tight games, you understand it's the playoffs and you cannot make any mistakes. He didn't make any mistakes, I'll tell you that, but he sure had a lot of bad throws. Boy, I guess you can't call that a mistake, but his throws are horrible. And I've never seen like little dump-offs by an NFL pro quarterback look so bad. Like he's throwing like 5-yard out routes and he's not connecting at all. His ball placement, his accuracy was horrible in this game. Thank goodness Jacksonville has one of the best defenses this year, if not the best. They win 10-3 over the Buffalo Bills. Tyrod Taylor and them, they came in there and they kind of moved the ball a little bit in that second quarter and the third quarter, but that first quarter is very hard to watch if you're an offensive guy. But I'm a defensive guy. I love a good defensive game. And only problem was you knew it was going to be a defensive game because you knew these defenses were pretty good and you knew that these offenses were pretty bad. So Buffalo came in there with a victory last week over Miami, and they had a loss from the Ravens. They lost to Bengals, which got the Bills in. So first time in the 21st century, yay, it lasted one game and you guys didn't really do much to get your fan base excited for next year, I'll tell you that. Tyrod Taylor did leave in the fourth quarter with apparent, I don't know what injury it was, but he had the towel on his face and I feel bad for the guy, but his future is in doubt for next year, not because of the injury, but just because of where they want to go. I tell you this, they're not going with Nathaniel, what's his name, Peterman, from Pittsburgh, the Panthers. That guy threw like 8 interceptions in like 12 attempts this year. I'm just saying. We're not trying him out next year. Go another route. But the Bills, hey, you made it to the playoffs. So maybe you can build off of that. But the fans, they're not finding it. But Jacksonville, their defense is hungry. And they thrive on that pressure. Okay, you guys don't want to score? All right, it's cool. We'll shut everybody else down. So that being said, the Jacksonville Jaguars win 10-3. They will face the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend, and I cannot wait for that matchup. It is going to be hellfire. It's going to be really good. That is the first game on Sunday. I cannot wait to see that. And then, last but not least, the best game on the docket from the start. I'm not even saying it because I'm a Saints fan. I'm just saying it for the fact that it was 2 11-5 teams in the wild card, so obviously it's going to be the best game. And sure enough, it was the best played game from both sides as well. You get Carolina Panthers lose to the New Orleans Saints 26-31. Who dat? The Saints go on to the next round to face the Minnesota Vikings, so we'll talk about that in just a moment, and that's going to be a good matchup. But what went down? Here we go. The Saints, Alvin Kamara, and you have Mark Ingram, and you thought the last 2 games, the last 2 victories they had with the Panthers, they ran the ball like crazy. So you knew Panthers say, you know what? We are going to gang up on you guys, 8 and 9 in the box, and we're going to force Drew Brees to beat us. That is not smart at all. I'll tell you that right now. You got to take your chances. You can't put 8 and 9 in the box against a veteran quarterback like Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. You just can't do it. You can't do it. This is the first time that Drew Brees has had a really, really good running game in a long time. Maybe since the 2009 season. Maybe since 2011 season. Something like that. But you force Drew Brees, who's probably a top 3 quarterback of all time, to beat you. I don't like that game plan. I don't like the game plan. 376 yards. It all started off with an 80-yarder from Drew Brees to tag in. That got them rolling. At one point, the Saints were up 21-6. But hey, just like New Orleans Saints fashion, their opponent kind of came back a little bit. And we're talking Cam Newton and company. Cam Newton, he was okay Cam. He wasn't good Cam. He wasn't bad Cam. He was okay Cam. He was decent Cam. He did enough to kind of hopefully get them to win. So they made it a game. A touchdown pass to Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen, I do like Greg Olsen a lot. Shout out to Greg Olsen with the beard and stuff. And I hope he has a healthy season all next year. But with that being said, they scored a touchdown, made it 31-26. So the ball is in Drew Brees' hands. It was a 4th and 2. I think they're on their own like 48-yard line, something like that, maybe, or on the 50-yard line. Big call, gets a call, 4th and 2. They said, callers, would you have gone for it? My answer was, hell yes, I'm going for it. Because we saw what the Saints defense did the last couple of drives, and you know that momentum is shifting. You need 1 first down, you need 2, or you need 3 yards, and the game is over with. I would do that 100% because regardless, they still got to go and score a touchdown. That's the worst case scenario is they go 50 yards, score a touchdown. There's no field. If there was a field goal game, yes, they are obviously going to punt the ball. But it's a touchdown game. Sean Payton has faith in his defense that has carried them for some of the season. You know, back in the day, Sean Payton would have punted that ball, but this defense has been different with Marshawn Lattimore, and Manti Te'o running the defense with Craig Robinson. So Sean Payton actually had faith in his defense. It wasn't faith in his offense. It was faith in his defense. Because 4th and 2, you miss it. You're saying, no defense, just stop him. Just stop him. And sure enough, 4th and 2, Drew Brees dropped back. No one's there. He goes to his right. He throws and is intercepted. Then fumbled. Hey, I don't know. It was funny because the referees did not go over that play. It was an interception. Did he take 2 steps to gain full possession? I don't know. When Alvin Kamara stripped it out of his hands, I don't really know what happened. I'm not... I would have loved, if I'm a Carolina Panther guy, I would have loved to see a replay. As a Saints fan, I don't mind that. But in my opinion, it looked like it was not an interception, which cost the Panthers, you would say cost, but it cost them about 20 yards. Now, would that have made a difference? I don't know. But they would have had a shorter distance to go. With that being said, now, here comes the Panthers kind of rolling in. They're on the 20-yard line, something like that. It is 2nd down and 12, 2nd and 13, excuse me, like that. And Cam Newton goes for a throw, and Cam Jordan bulldozes like 8 guys, and he's about to sack Cam Newton, and Cam Newton just throws it up, and they call it intentional grounding. Now, everyone's saying he was out of the pocket. Let me tell you this. It was so close, and in real time, it looked like he was in the pocket. And now you slow it down, he may or may not be in and out the pocket. So you got to go wherever the refs stand. When the refs say it's intentional grounding, it's intentional grounding. It was so close. Look, my thing was, no one was open. You can say he was going to Funches all you want. He was not going to Funches. He was just trying to get rid of the ball in Funches' area, which Funches was way nowhere near where that ball went. And I thought it was a good call. From real time, I thought it was intentional grounding. Now, if real time, if it was not intentional grounding, I'd have been kind of having a problem with it. Like, don't do it like that. But that being said, 3rd and 23, they don't get anything with that. 4th and 23, they just try and throw it up. But Von Bell comes in and gets a sack on Cam Newton, and that is the ball game. The New Orleans Saints move on to face the Minnesota Vikings. So here are our matchups for the divisional round of the NFL. First week are Saturday games. I believe we have we have the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Philadelphia Eagles, which is going to be weird. But everyone has Atlanta as the winner and Philly as the underdog. I'm saying this. Yes, Carson Wentz was a big factor. But everyone's looking like Atlanta's just this dominant team. Yes, they beat Carolina at the end of the game, at the end of the season to get into the playoffs, which is cool. They beat Carolina at home, dome area, controlled climate. They go to Los Angeles against a young Los Angeles team. Yes, I understand it. It was a great win. It was a really good win. But it was sunny, and it didn't turn dark, and it felt like it was a good weather, controlled climate. Here we go. People are excluding the fact that this is still a good Philadelphia Eagles team who's had a bye week right now, who is ready. Nick Foles has had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. 2 weeks. I think that's enough for them. You know the Eagles defense is going to show up against the Atlanta's offense. Oh, by the way, it's outside in Philadelphia in the middle of January. You know what I'm saying? It's cold. Not a controlled climate anymore. Yes, you might have to run the ball if you're Atlanta, and you will run the ball. I guarantee you that with Devontae Freeman. But I've seen Philly at their best on defense. I think they are so motivated. I'm going with Philadelphia to upset the Atlanta Falcons. I'll give it a 21-17 kind of game. It'll be sloppy, it'll be ugly, but I think that's the way Philadelphia is going to want it to be. They're going to want it sloppy and ugly. I think Philadelphia actually comes out, and the road will go through Philadelphia in the NFC, in my opinion. Next game, we have Tennessee at New England. I'm still mad I'm saying that. I wish I was saying Kansas City at New England. Tennessee, they have the running game and they have a good defense. You know, they have those two things, and you can always bring that no matter where you go. And right now they're facing a vulnerable Tom Brady, a vulnerable Patriots team. But we always know when the Patriots have controversy, they always seem to go over that and do great things with controversy. So just another thing to get them, I guess, excited, get them amped up for it. Tennessee has no shot in this game. As much as I would love for Tennessee to make it competitive, and it might still be for the first half, just because Tennessee's defense is okay, and if they can pound the run game, do great play action, and stay in the game. But the Patriots, they know how to make you frustrated, and they know how to take your best player out. That's the one thing. Tennessee doesn't have a best player. If you want to call Derrick Henry the best player, they're going to have to sell out on that run game and force Mariota to beat you, who has been struggling all year with his passing, his accuracy, and his decision-making as well. So I think the Patriots blow Tennessee out. I'm probably say 31 to 16. 31-16 New England, easy fashion. On to the Sunday games now. Our first game is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Sunday games are going to be very, very great. Look, I'm still wavering on Jacksonville at Pittsburgh, but I got to go with Pittsburgh. Just the way Jacksonville's offense looked, I don't think that their defense can rise to occasion that many times against a Pittsburgh Steelers team. Jacksonville could do that against Buffalo, but against Pittsburgh, who has the killer bees, Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, and now Antonio Brown is back from injury. I think it's going to be still a good game. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I want to say Pittsburgh wins 20-10. 20-10 Pittsburgh. I'm going with the Steelers to ride on to the AFC Championship to face the New England Patriots, like we all knew was going to happen. So that being said, I got Pittsburgh going in there. Jacksonville's had a great season, and they can only build off of this. They need to find a quarterback ASAP Rocky. They do, because if they don't, something's going to go down, and they won't have, they'll have great defense, great special teams, and great running game, but you still got to have a quarterback who's at least decent to get you there. Blake Bortles is not decent to me. He has up and down moments, but way too many down moments. So I'm going with Pittsburgh to win this game, 20-10. All right, and this is probably the game of the week once again. The Saints find themselves in another game of the week against the Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be a tough one. This is probably the toughest game out of Las Vegas right now. Las Vegas have the Minnesota Vikings winning, and I don't blame them. They're at home. They had the bye week. They're well rested. I'm going with the Saints, y'all. I'm going with the Saints. You saw what happened to the Los Angeles Rams. These young guys, the young quarterback Jared Goff was kind of off his rhythm. Case Keenum, who's had a great story. You got to root for guys like that all the time. I do. I think in this game, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be very low scoring in my opinion. If it is high scoring, then it probably means the Vikings are going to win the game. But if it's low scoring, because I think the Saints defense is going to shut down Latavius Murray. I won't say shut down, but contain him and kind of force Case Keenum to get that ball out. You got a Marshawn Lattimore who's going to be all over Adam Thielen now. So I don't see how I see the Vikings can win because they're at home. They have a great fan base as well. They do the whole skull. That's very intimidating to me. I'll be scared about that, but I'm not an NFL player, so I can be scared. But they got that going on. But I think somehow it's a special year for the Saints. I could be a homer, but I really believe the Saints. Y'all seen my show. I've said the Saints would lose plenty of times on my show already. But in this game, I think the Saints come out in a hard, close victory. I'm going with the Saints. 24-22. No, 24-23. New Orleans wins. Game-winning field goal? I'll just throw that out there. I will throw that out there. Game-winning field goal. I think the Saints will move on and go to Philadelphia. Have to face the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship. And I also think that the Steelers and the Patriots will face each other as well for the AFC Championship. And who knows? So that being said, hey, comment down below, how do you guys feel about the AFC Divisional games and the NFC Divisional games? Who's going to win? Who's your favorite? Or who you got going to AFC Championship and the NFC Championship? Let me know down below. So, this has been the Uneducated Network presenting Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Clayton, and as always, sports fans, you know what time it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace. Philip 66. What's up, y'all?